Hello everybody, Lisa here. Welcome back to my channel, and today I'm going to talk about what is on my wish list, which is super fun and I'm super excited about. I did a little poll in the Supportive Tarot Facebook group and just asked people what video I should film next, and this was the clear winner. Except that as soon as I finished that poll, I was like, wait, I don't want to just talk about the decks that are on my wish list. I want to be able to like show photos. So if all goes well, when I'm done filming this, I'm going to be inserting photos, maybe somewhere on this side, maybe? Or maybe on this side. We shall see. But I'm going to be inserting photos of each of the decks that I'm going to talk about so you have some context, because you may not be familiar with all of these. But let's just get right into it. So first I thought I'd start off with decks that are out of print or hard to find. So the first deck on my list is the Monstarot. Now this deck is so cute, and it just recently sold out on the artist's Etsy shop. The artist's name is Joanna Nelson. It just sold out on her Etsy shop, and I missed out, and I am kicking myself for hesitating because I thought it was the cutest darn thing I've ever seen in my life. Almost the cutest. There's probably other cuter things, but I mean, it's really cute. It's really cute, and if you get a chance to scoop up a copy, you probably definitely should, because it's adorable. So that's probably the one at the top of my out of print list right now. I did, when I was looking at this deck, I had recently acquired the Crystal Unicorn Tarot. I'm going to space on the name of the name of the artist. I totally know it, and I totally just spaced it. But I just picked up the Crystal Unicorn Tarot, and I was like, well, I just got a cute deck, so I don't need to get another one yet. And then it was gone, and I was super sad. Don't let it happen to you. I'm just saying. Okay, next, this one is not out of print currently, but it keeps going kind of in and out, so I'm not sure if there's just really limited copies or if the artist is just releasing small batches at a time. I'm not really sure what the story is, but the Sawyer's Path Tarot by Jamie Sawyer is definitely on my wish list. I don't know when I'll scoop this up. Again, I'm not sure. Like, I think I'm going to get it, and then I hesitate, and then it's suddenly gone, but then it comes back. So then I'm like, well, maybe I can wait a little longer. So I'm kind of rolling the dice with this one a little bit right now, but I've also gotten a lot of new decks lately, so I'm trying to keep things moving, you know, at a reasonable pace. So the wifey doesn't come in here and be like, what's with all the new decks, sweetheart? I don't want to get in trouble. That's what that's about. I would also love to get my hands on a copy of the Fairytale Tarot by Lisa Hunt. I like Lisa Hunt's artwork quite a lot, and the Fairytale Tarot by Lisa Hunt was one that I have kind of lusted after for quite a long time, but I think it's been out of print for quite a while now, so I'm pretty sure it's unlikely that it's coming back. I would love to have a copy because I love fairy tales. I did manage to get a copy of the Fairytale Tarot by Baba Studio, but they're both so different, and Baba Studio feels much more grown up with its stories and a little bit deeper in a way, whereas Lisa Hunt's deck feels a little lighter, a little more playful, and I love those playful energy decks, and I love stories. Those of you who are out there in tarot YouTube land right now, reading children's stories are like my favorite people. They're my favorite people because I love those, and I like to listen to them at bedtime because it's bedtime stories, and I don't care if I'm a grown-ass woman. I'm going to listen to bedtime stories. I am. I'm definitely going to do it. And that is one of the reasons why I really want the Fairytale Tarot. So in print, at the very, very tippy top of my wish list right now, is the Sasuraibito third edition? It's the third edition. I want that deck so bad. But again, see previous about trying to slow my roll a little bit. We'll see how long I hold out on this one. Probably not terribly long, but I'm going to try. I'm going to try because I'm going to try to be good. But Sasuraibito, which the community affectionately calls the Sassy Burrito, is definitely at the top of my list, but it is currently in print, so there is no insane rush just yet. So that one's right up there. I am also lusting after, and again, this is one that because it's in print, I keep kind of holding off. I'm also lusting after the Happy Tarot by Serena Ficca? F-I-C-C-A. That sounds Italian, so I'm going to say Ficca, although I have no idea. The Happy Tarot is like the Candyland of tarot decks, and I'm partly hesitating because I have seen two versions of this deck out in the wild, well, on the internet wild. One version is bordered, even though the borders are very small and they're just like a little border at the top, a little border at the bottom, with just like a little symbol and a little number. It's very unobtrusive, but I swear I either heard about or I saw reference to a borderless version, and I would love a borderless version of that deck. So I'm kind of hesitating because I'd like to see this version, but again, not sure how long I'm going to hesitate because it's like the Candyland of Tarot. And please see previous comment about enjoying childlike things. So I really want that deck in my collection, like bad. But I'm holding out. Again, Candyland. Like Candyland. At least that's what it is in my head. So I'm just looking at my list. Next, I have written down the Mystic Faerie Tarot borderless. So this is actually kind of a dust collector in my collection right now. I do have the Mystic Faerie Tarot, but the borders are really annoying to me personally. They really overtake the cards, and as soon as I found out there was a borderless version, and I think I found that out from Amber of Amber in Wonderland. I will try to remember to link her channel below, but if not, you can just look her up. It's Amber in Wonderland here on YouTube. I'm pretty sure she's the one that tipped me off about the borderless version, and you have to be very careful and look for the right ISBN number to make sure you're ordering the borderless, but the newer version of this is definitely borderless. And I really would love to swap out my bordered for borderless. But I also don't want to be totally impractical, and I've not yet bought a second copy of any tarot deck I own or have owned. I don't think I've ever rebought one I've traded or sold or whatever. And I don't really want to start now, but I really want it borderless. And if I trim mine, it's going to be like this big. So probably going to happen at some point. Also on my wish list is the Herbal Tarot and the separate guidebook called Herbal Tarot, The Spirit of Herbs by Mythical Tierra and Candis Cantin. Now, I think I first saw a walkthrough of this deck. Oh, I hope I'm going to get this right because I'm literally going off my memory, which is not very reliable, but I want to say it was Tarot Maps. I'm pretty sure somebody showed a walkthrough of all their Herbal Tarots, and I'm pretty sure that's who it was. But this deck has some classic Rider-Waite style imagery, so it's really clear read with the herbs inserted into the imagery in a way that looks really lovely to me and well done. And from what I've heard about this deck, the herbs have been picked in a very conscious way to represent the energy of that card. And I don't have any decks in my collection at all right now that speak to herbal energy, and I've definitely been drawn to work more with herbs and crystals in my practices. And so having a tarot that pulls in those herbal energies is really appealing. But I have heard that if you get the deck, you must get the associated guidebook, which is sold separately, because that's where all the really meaty information is. So that is definitely on my wish list. I'm also really interested, now that I've seen Simon at the Hermit's Cave do a walkthrough, in the Crystal Tarot by Scarabeo. Now, I saw this deck actually at Reflections, my local metaphysical store here in Coquitlam, BC, and she had two copies. One, they were each in slightly different boxes. I wasn't sure if one had maybe the old Scarabeo with the multiple languages on it, and the other one had the less intrusive borders or not. I'm probably going to trim the deck either way if I were to get this deck. What really appeals to me is that it's got this really beautiful stained glass sort of look about it, and I love that. So just for the sheer beauty of the artwork, I think that would be a fun one to own, but I would probably chop it up regardless, because I'm pretty ruthless that way. But it's definitely on my list as one I would love to have. So I've got only 2 tarot decks on my Tarot de Marseille wish list right now because, as you all know, I'm just learning numerology and starting to dive into Tarot on Earth, and I've made a personal commitment to myself that I will try really hard not to acquire another Tarot de Marseille deck until I was going to say until I finish the book, but I feel like it's going to be a while, and I don't know if that's unrealistic, so maybe I'll say until I'm more comfortable with my numerological meanings. Because I could let myself off the hook like that, right? Like, somebody validate me, please, below in the comments. Like, can I get one sooner than, like, the however many weeks it's going to take me to finish that book? Because there's 2 that I really want. One is, well, there's actually 3 probably. Let's see if I can remember the name of the third one because I didn't write it down. So the first one is the Tarot de Maria Celia. I don't know if I'm saying that right. I heard about that one first somewhere. I don't even remember now. But I know that Tom Benjamin has been totally enabling me. Every time I comment on this somewhere out in the world, it's like Tom sees the comment and is like, yes, definitely buy it. So I feel very enabled. And it's in a tin. And I love tarots in a tin. But I love the colors. I love the way that the imagery looks. It's got that really, it just feels really, really beautiful. And I want something that has that more, I want to say antique, but that's not quite right. That just has that really elegant. Elegant is a good word. I would like a couple of Tarot de Marseille decks that have that more elegant look to them. And that is the one that is really, really appealing to me the most at this moment. But second in line is the Ancient Italian Tarot, which I believe Kelly Fitzgerald of Kelly and the Truth and Story, or of The Truth and Story rather, talks about the Ancient Italian Tarot and recommends it for Tarot de Marseille beginners. I love the colors. It looks a little bit old, which I love. I think that working with Tarot de Marseille, I like that it's got that more old feel to it. So that is definitely number 2 on my Tarot de Marseille wish list, which currently consists of only 2 decks. I have to cough. I'm very sorry. Excuse me. The third one that I did not write down is the 7th Sphere Tarot, I believe is what it's called. It's on Etsy. Really a beautiful color palette, kind of modernish looking. I love the colorway of that deck, and it seems really pretty. I'm on the fence about it a little bit because I think that I don't know that I want my Tarot de Marseille decks to look particularly modern. And that's the one reason why I haven't really gravitated yet towards the, oh, you guys are going to be so annoyed with me because I don't remember the name. The deck that is currently in both Simon from Hermit's Cave and Kelly Bear's top 5 decks right now. It's the deck I call like the Wonder Woman deck. It's an LGBTQ friendly Tarot de Marseille with beautiful artwork. It's got this kind of overly muscled figures kind of feel to it throughout, and there's definitely some figures that look a little bit like superheroes or like Wonder Woman. That's why I call it the Wonder Woman deck, or the She-Ra deck. But I really think that's beautifully produced. But I don't know if I want a modern looking Tarot de Marseille yet. So I'm still chewing on that a little bit. But it looks like it's really lovely. Okay, so I technically just listed 4, but I'm probably only going to have photos for 2. But maybe I'll have photos for all 4. We'll see how the editing goes on this video. I have no idea when this video is going to go up. It depends on how long the editing takes. I'll just throw that out there. Anyways, moving on to oracles. There are 4 on my wish list currently. This changes all the time. I should just say that my wish lists in general change all the time. But my oracle decks that I'm really lusting after right now, there are 2 animal oracles. There might be, yeah, there's 2 animal ones. Yes, okay. So the first one is the Spirit Animal Oracle by Colette and Reid. There have been some recent walkthroughs of this deck. The artwork is stunning. I'm almost tempted to say that if I acquire that deck, I may let go of the Mystic Shaman, which I've been working with this week, partly because I feel like the animal energies might be more accessible to me than the shamanic than the mystical shaman's imagery. They're both beautiful. The artwork is in a similar style, and the cardstock and quality of the decks seem very similar from what I've seen online and on walkthroughs. But I just have a feeling that I would connect with it better. But don't quote me on that because I don't know if I want to part with my Mystic Shaman just yet, but we'll see. The next deck that is on my Oracle wish list is the Spirit of the Animals Oracle by Jody Bergsma. At first glance, artwork-wise, the Colette and Reid and the Jody Bergsma decks look very different. I'm almost, and I love the artwork in similar ways. I love them for their differences. And at first I was actually going to just pick one of these 2 to put on my wish list because I was like, well, of the 2, I think I prefer Spirit of the Animals Oracle, but that was before I saw Simon's walkthrough, and, hashtag Simon made me do it, so I can blame him, right? Yeah, I think so. But then I can blame Spirit of the Animals Oracle on Kelly Fitzgerald, who did a fabulous walkthrough of it on The Truth and Story. So should we have a hashtag Kelly made me do it too? So I could have hashtag Simon made me do it and then hashtag Kelly made me do it, right? Right. I think so. So then the next one on my Oracle wish list is an older deck, but it's the Messenger Oracle by Ravynne Phelan. I have the Dreams of Gaia Tarot, and I adore it for personal work. I haven't yet worked with this deck with clients. The guidebook is incredible. It's really rich with sort of that personal growth, spiritual growth kind of stuff. It does a really good job of acknowledging childhood stuff, any shadow stuff you need to deal with childhood. And I would love to have an oracle deck in that same art style because I think that her artwork is gorgeous. It's definitely more of that sort of computer graphic style artwork, which I don't feel that I have a lot of in my collection. I have some Chiro Marchetti that's got that same sort of crisp clarity and vivid colors. I am drawn to that. I find that my tastes are changing over the years and I haven't been pulled as much in that direction, but Ravynne Phelan's, I hope I'm saying her name right, her artwork is so stunning and so fantasy, and there's dragons, and it pulls you right in, and I would love to have that deck in my collection. Okay, and then finally in the Oracle section, I have the Earthbound Oracle by Andy Swartz, or Skullgarden, on Etsy. This is such an adorable, I shouldn't say adorable, it's not quite why I'm attracted to it, but it's one of those smaller oracles that can be used for divination, for intuitive readings. Like sometimes our oracles to me are more for, they're definitely all divination, I'm not sure if I'm saying it right, but some oracles read to me more like growth and reflection and daily pulls and that sort of thing. Whereas you've got things like Mildred Payne's oracle and this Earthbound oracle, or even the Oracle of Echoes, and there's some other decks that are like that where I feel like you can really just pull cards in a spread just like you would with tarot or with Lenormand and get really predictive or deeper readings that are more intuition based. I feel like I'm pigeonholing some oracles, and that is not my intention, but I hope you know what I mean. Like some are just snappier and really expansive with what they allow you to read into, and the Earthbound Oracle is really uniquely good at that from what I've seen online and in walkthroughs. So I would really love to own that one, and it's small. It's definitely on my wish list. Not yet available. So I wrote down 4 decks here that are either, I think they're all either not yet published or they're not, some of them might be open to pre-order, some of them aren't. So first is the Sacred Mysteries, the Chakra Oracle by Kooch N. Daniels and Victor Daniels. I found out about this one on the For Love of Cards Facebook group. I believe Amber of Amber in Wonderland posted this deck. Now I have a Chakra deck right now and I like it, but I don't love it, and it's the only one I have. And this one, the artwork looks like it's going to be right up my alley, and as long as they've done a good job, subjectively speaking, as long as they've done a job that with the guidebook and with the messages and keywords that I feel like I can resonate with chakra work, which I do work with the chakras quite a lot, then that one is definitely going to make its way into my hot little hands. Next is the Magical Herb Oracle by Cheralyn Darcey. This is another one I found out in the same place and by the same person, I'm pretty sure. Amber, we definitely need a hashtag Amber made us do it too. Really, I'm just going to blame everybody else for all of my deck acquisitions. You're welcome. But the Magical Herb Oracle, from the very little bit we can see right now with promo images, again, the artwork looks beautiful, and it would be so much fun to have the Herbal Tarot and then to have an Herbal Oracle. Do you see where I'm going with this? Like, I feel like it would be so great. And then I have the Crystal Power Tarot by Jane Wallace. This one's got a lighter, fluffier vibe to it, but it looks like it does a really good job of marrying crystal energies with the tarot cards, so I think that could be really fun to work with. And I don't currently have a really strong crystal deck. Now the Crystal Unicorn Tarot does work with crystal energies, but it feels to me more like a really adorable Rider-Waite clone, and I don't see myself working with it on the level of the crystal energies. And so I'm excited to get a deck that really pulls those crystal energies more in. And I enjoy when we can marry things like herbs and crystals with tarot, because I feel like the tarot has an existing system and structure, and I'm very familiar with the meanings of the cards. So being able to link that up with herbs and crystals feels more empowering to me from a learning perspective than an oracle where I'm just learning about each thing as I go. So both are valuable, but definitely that's really exciting, the Crystal Power Tarot. And finally, this one is on my wish list, but I'm kind of on the fence about it. Well, actually, there's 2 more. One I didn't write down and is totally now on my wish list. But the first is the Mythical Creatures Tarot by Baba Studio. Now, this already existed or was released in black and white, and I used to say that I didn't think I would ever own a black and white deck, but then I went and ordered Benabelle's deck because this is the Spirit Keepers Tarot, which you'll probably be able to see unboxings of now on YouTube. That deck is stunningly done. And so that's apparently my first black and white deck. But the Mythical Creatures, I don't know, there was something about it, I just didn't want it in black and white. But Baba Studio, Karen has been talking about them releasing it in color. They've been teasing some images on their Instagram. The colors look like they're going to be very light, sort of similar color saturation, it looks like to me, as the Spirit Song Tarot by Paulina Cassidy. It looks like it's going to be similar coloring to that. That's what has me actually on the fence. For starters, it looks like a very deep deck when it comes to mythical creatures. It might be a little bit heady, so we will see. And secondly, the colors look like they might be very pale, which, while beautiful, might make me hesitate to pull the trigger on that one, so we shall see. Also from Baba Studio, they are going to be re-releasing the Alice Tarot, and that is rapidly climbing up higher on my wish list because I keep looking at images and I keep getting pulled to that deck, and I feel like that's going to have to happen when it comes out. Pretty sure. And I'm also pretty sure that when they release pre-orders, it is going to go like hot, like wildfire. So I'm probably going to be hopping on that train as soon as it comes by me. So we shall see. Now, that's a lot. And I actually feel like my wish list is kind of short. And I'm sure there's more, and this changes all the time. It was one of the reasons why I kind of hesitated to make this video, because I'm like, but what if this falls off and then this comes on? But you know what? These are all decks that I would be pleased as punch to own. So they are firm wish list items at this point, and I think I'm good to say that. I can say that, and I can put this out into the world, and we will just see how things go and which ones I scoop up next. But I am trying to just absorb some of my recent acquisitions and really get to know them better. But these are definitely hanging out there in wishlist land. So I hope that this was fun for you to watch. Hopefully I was able to edit this and get some pictures in, which would make it really fun. And if not, then I've just given you a wonderful verbal description of everything that I would really like to own. And those are very Googleable. I will put a list down below of the decks that I mentioned here so that you can look them up on your own if you want to look up more about them. I will also try to remember to link the channels that I've mentioned in this video down below as well. So as always, please feel free to join the conversation by subscribing below if you haven't yet, by joining us in the Supportive Tarot Facebook group if you want to chit chat with us there, or just by commenting down below or liking the video. Anything that you do to engage lets me know that you like this sort of content so that I can keep creating it for you. I hope you have a really awesome day or evening wherever you might be, and I will talk to you all again very, very soon.